In Genesis 16, we have the angel of the Lord speaking with Hagar, promising her in verse 10, I will give you more descendants than you can count. You are now pregnant and you will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael. So here the promise has been spoken. Okay, so then we go to chapter 21. We see Hagar, she's on the run again. Okay, but this time she has Ishmael with her. And she says in verse 16, I don't want to watch the boy die. And she's in tears. But if you pay attention in verse 17, you have God that is responding to the boy crying, not so much Hagar, but he's listening to Ishmael's cry. How could any of us, well, not us, okay, but Hagar, how can she abandon her son or that thing that she's been promised, speak death, saying that she doesn't want to see or she doesn't want to watch her promise die, when the angel way back before said that she's going to have descendants to come from this thing? It could be a tough situation. It looks like it ain't no way out. It's looking like the end, but it's not the end, because the promise that was supposed to come from that thing didn't happen yet. The promise has not been fulfilled. We got to stop running. We got to stop hiding. Just because it's a tough situation, just because it's uncomfortable, we can't just give up and throw our hands up and was like, this thing is just going to die. Now, the good part about all of this is that God comes back because someone is crying out. Who is your Ishmael that is crying out from the lack of not getting what they're supposed to get because we've abandoned what we were supposed to be doing? This whole thing reminds us that we cannot just stop and quit. We got to get up, dry your tears, no matter how hard it is, and get back into it, because somebody out there is crying out because we are failing to deliver what it is that they need from us. They're not getting their solutions. They're not getting their deliverance. They're not getting their breakthrough because we hadn't showed up. And just like God being who he is, he gives the provision. Because if you look back, it says in 19, when God opened up Hagar's eyes, she saw the well full of water. Now, I'm thinking that well of water was always there. But because Hagar was so caught up on what she didn't have, the situation that she was running from, things being so tough and hard for her, that she didn't see what she needed was there in front of her. It took her having a confrontation with God and then her getting herself together, so now she can see that thing was there in front of her. The lesson in all of this is that God's promise will come to pass no matter how crazy it looks. God is not going to let his Ishmaels suffer and cry and go without because we are giving up. He is too gracious enough to give provision to get that thing done. So I'm hoping you take this in seeing that we have a job to do. We are connected to someone, to some people, and God is hearing their cries. The same way he is concerned, we be like, oh, I'm the best, God is concerned about me. He's concerned about those people too. And if we're supposed to be showing up for them, then we need to do that. And if we know that we have a promise from him, that no matter how the situation looks, it can't be the end because the promise has not been fulfilled yet.